Wednesday, May 29th, 2024 commission meeting to order. Roll call, please, Jeff.
Bob Houston.
Present.
Monty Kisner.
Present.
Brian Johnson.
Present.
Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Any motion to accept the agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? 3 votes for, 0 against. Need a motion to approve the commission meeting minutes from May 22nd, 2024.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? 3 votes for, 0 against. Need approval of the work session minutes from May 21st, 2024, meeting with Road and Bridge Director to discuss county policies.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? 3 votes for, 0 against. Resolution 24-49, Cass County Commission, a resolution approving the placement of a silhouette artwork and related support structures near the Burnt District Memorial. I need a motion.
So moved. Second.
We had a meeting with the Chamber of Commerce,
Tourism Committee.
I'm sorry.
Tourism Committee.
Tourism Committee about placement of the silhouettes out there at the Justice Center. I think we finally got that all worked out to the commission's agreement, and the sheriff and the people out there. They will be approved to be able to be placed once they raise the funds and put it out there. Any discussion? I know John Foster worked extremely hard on that, so I think he'll be glad that we're going to approve this. With no further discussion, all in favor of Resolution 24-49? 3 votes for, 0 against, resolution passes. Resolution 24-50, Cass County Collector's Office is accepting a bid from Kaufeld Land Tile Incorporated for pre-tax cell lien searches. I need a motion.
So moved. Second.
Chris?
Good afternoon. It's that time of the year again. We are preparing for our annual tax sale required by Chapter 140. And the first step in that process is to do a lien search on those properties that are 2 or more years delinquent. Last year we had 2 bids. This year we only have one from Kaufeld Land Title, and it is for $47.23 per parcel.
That's significantly less than usually we pay.
Significantly less, yes.
Okay. Any questions, John? All in favor of Resolution 24-50? 3 votes for, 0 against, resolution passes. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you. There are 364 properties on the sale this year.
Ordinance number 24-03, Cass County Road and Bridge, and ordinance amending County Code Title 5, Chapter 510 related to road and bridge department policies. I need a motion.
So moved. Second.
Travis?
It's updated verbiage for all of our ordinances. It's change over from Public Works Director to Road and Bridge Director. It also updates our culvert installation process to reduce the permit fee from $175 to $100, and then takes the burden from the county on placing in all the culverts ourselves and puts it onto the permit person or permit owner.
Okay. Any questions? All in favor of ordinance 24-03? 3 votes for, 0 against, ordinance passes. Thank you, Travis. Ordinance number 24-04, Cass County Road and Bridge, an ordinance changing the speed limit on 232nd Street. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second. Travis?
This on 232nd, this will be from 7 Highway over to Schaefer Road, so the short section will be 25 miles per hour.
I think all the petition, every homeowner in that
Every homeowner
stretch
signed the
signed it.
petition. Correct.
All right, any questions? All in favor of ordinance number 24-04? 3 votes for, 0 against, ordinance passes. Resolution number 24-51, Cass County Commission approving appointment to the Cass County Public Library Board of Trustees. I need a motion.
So moved. Second.
So we received several applications. I spoke with the majority of those. Lots of them turned in resumes, if you will. Called lots of those and talked to them. So at this time, we're going to make recommendations from the commission, and we'll vote on it, and we'll see who's going to get appointed on it. I would make the first recommendation for Sherry Peters. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor to appoint Sherry Peters to the library board? 3 votes for, 0 against. So Sherry Peters will be one of the first of the 2 that we appoint to the library board. I'll take recommendation for a second person to be appointed to the library board.
Mine should drop down to 2452.
Okay, so all in favor of resolution 2451 appointing Sherry Peters to the library board? 3 votes for, 0 against. So the second person, Resolution 2452, Cass County Commission approving appointment to the Cass County Public Library Board of Trustees. This will be the second person. I need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll do a second. All in favor?
Well,
So you need a nomination?
Need a nomination.
Nomination,
Brett,
yeah.
don't you have one?
Yeah, I got to nominate, I want to nominate Dennis Minnick.
You have a second?
Second.
All in favor of Dennis Minnick? 3 votes for, 0 against. Dennis Minnick is appointed to the board. All in favor of Resolution 2452, appointing Dennis Minnick as a library board member?
Oh.
3 votes for, 0 against. Resolution passes. Any public comment at this time? Please step forward.
Who was the second person? And the rest.
Good afternoon again. I wanted to just give the commission a brief update on our Senate Bill 190 enrollment process. We're at 4,000 people already. It is an absolute onslaught of people. We did not anticipate this. We have enough materials and supplies for 10,000, but I expected we would be at 10,000 July 31st. We may enroll 12,000 people. It is very, very busy in the morning. We're trying to work very diligently with folks to make sure the information we put in the computer is correct. We're reviewing trust documents for those folks that have trust. Many of the homes are in trust. And of course, the challenge of getting 85 and 90-year-old folks in and out of the facility with oxygen tanks, walkers, wheelchairs. We've had EMS out a few times. So we are trying to be as diligent. And I tell folks, we're trying to hurry as fast as we can. I recognize lines are long. Once you get into the conference room, we have 4 enrollment stations. Commissioner Johnson was there today with privacy banners erected so folks can have some privacy. At all times, we have 3 to 4 of my employees enrolling seniors. So the wait may be long, but once you get inside the conference room, it's a 5-minute procedure, maybe 6 minutes to explain the program. Each senior leaves with a folder that has their application that serves as a receipt for enrolling in the program. We're going paperless. I don't have room for 30 or 40,000 pieces of paper. So they also get the program rules. I know we'll probably be talking about this next week, but just a short set of rules that I promulgated to kind of administer the process. We certainly have had to turn a few people away. I want to stress this is for residents. This is for the place you sleep at, not a home that you own that your sister lives in because you're in Topeka, okay? It's for residents. So that's why we're asking for utility bills, voter ID cards, things that prove you actually live here and simply just don't own a home. Home ownership is not the only requirement. There's also residency requirements, and we're enforcing those. Right now, when I left, we were about 66, 67 people deep, but it's very orderly. When you come into the Millwalk Mall, we have seating set up specifically for seniors outside of our office. We have an old-fashioned number wheel. You'll take a number, so you're next in line. We have a digital counter on the wall, so we call those. Roger helps with that. We call the next taxpayer. We call out the number, now serving number 77. This is how we handle it all day long, so it's very orderly. It's probably gone a little smoother than I thought it would. Just surprised at the brisk pace. There's a tremendous, demand for this. And we have really been much busier than I thought we would be. So how many seniors are in Cass County? I don't know. We had informally discussed maybe getting some voter information, but I don't think that was wise. I think that probably would get us in trouble. So the best way to do this is really just to have a cattle call, right? The doors are open and come with your ID. I kind of thought that if we put an application on the internet, which a lot of people said we should do, I would discover that literally every single person in Cass County was a senior citizen. So I didn't want to spend the summer trying to prove the negative, which has been the problem in St. Charles County. They put an application on their webpage, and they've been inundated with thousands and thousands and thousands of applications, but they can't prove that's who they say they are. And now they've had to devote staff time to going back in arrears, right, and going backwards and trying to figure out all these folks. So we're going to have folks come in. Obviously, if you have the power of attorney for a loved one, you may come in and enroll on their behalf. Just bring the power of attorney. We're encouraging people to bring their trust documents, but What's most important is the document in the trust called the certification. You need to see that 2 or 3 page document called the trust certification. Bring that in, we scan all that in with your application, give that right back to you with a little folder to keep it all together. So we're doing the best we can. We are going to have open enrollment through the 31st of July. And at some point in July, I will announce an evening date. Folks say to me, the younger folks, the people in their 60s that are still working, say to me, Chris, I can't get there during the day. So we're going to have an evening, maybe a 3 or 4 hour window one evening in July that we will try to do. And I'll try to also have a window on a Saturday in July for those folks that can't get in. So we're gonna bend over backwards, and then we are hosting an event at Foxwood Springs on August 1st. Large concentrated number of seniors there that are physically unable to leave, but own their home in Foxwood. So that's the plan right now. We will announce in July an evening date and a Saturday date to try to bend over backwards. I'm trying to do my level best to accommodate absolutely everybody that we can. We will have to have a hard closing date because I'll start to get ready to go into property tax season. So our physical doors will close in the enrollment center, close of business July 31st. And that, I'm going to stick hard to that. We're giving folks, we've done this a month now. So we're averaging about 1,000 a week. And if you walk through that, that's going to put us at about 12 to 13,000 enrollees at this point. Any questions from the commission? I know you guys have had a lot of phone calls.
I've had a lot of calls saying the process is easy, you know, once they get to you back there, the waiting line's the longest, but have been very positive.
Good. It's been Old Home Week for a lot of people. They bump into each other out in the mall while they're waiting, so it gets pretty loud out there. I think I need a sheriff's deputy maybe.
Thank you, Chris.
So anyway, it's going well, and I know we'll be back next week discussing the Senate Bill 756. 756 was an enormous help. The original 190 was confusing about the nature of the tax credit, but most problematic was Social Security eligibility and being 62 are 2 different things. Federal government employees, public school teachers, railroad workers, they don't get Social Security. They get pensions. So 190 inadvertently left thousands and thousands of folks, without this benefit. The other problem was too, there's no scenario where the Social Security Administration gives me access to their computers. There just isn't. So, that was going to really be problematic. So 756 cleans those things up, and I appreciate that very much. So we're going to follow very closely to that and to your ordinance.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
At this time, if there's any more public comment, please step forward to the podium.
Hello, Commissioners. Hey, I just want to thank you guys for my time on the library board. I know I just sent out an email to you guys saying that I was pulling my application on Friday after much consideration of the fact that I couldn't be in office as assessor and be on the library board. You guys had several candidates that were up there, and I figured now was the time to go ahead and allow that to happen instead of making you guys redo things in December. But I do want to thank you for the opportunity that you gave me. I think that when I went into this position serving, that we thought this was just about a community that was fighting over a book. And we found that there was so much more. And this position is it's not an easy position to be in. I mean, we're having to deal with, $5 million of the taxpayers' money. And that is, we should be held accountable for that, and everyone that works in the library should be held accountable for that. We are accountable to the taxpayers. And the two that you selected, I'm excited to see what they do and how they go about things. We have done a lot over the last, almost 2 years since I've been on the board. I mean, we have a new director, and we love her, and we have a new assistant director, and so far I like him a lot too. So we'll just see how things go, but I would just encourage you guys, Lonnie, you'll be leaving us as commissioner, and so will you, Ryan, and I appreciate you guys, and the new commissioners. I just hope that they understand how important this position is and how much time actually has to be invested. These volunteer boards, I think all too often people think they're just going to come in, vote on a budget, and that's it. And if you do that, you won't do the job well. And so a lot of us like to be paid for what we do, and this is a position where you don't get paid, and you still have to invest the time in it. So again, I want to thank you because I've learned so much through all of this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So any other public comment at this time, please step forward. Please state your name.
Connie Poisson, I live in Garden City, Missouri, here in Cass County. And I just had some questions. I was a little bit puzzled regarding the process of choosing a library board trustee. It's not anything, the process that you used did not appear to be familiar to anything I've ever experienced as a retired teacher with school boards that hire teachers or hire school administrators. Typically, they meet as a group and look at all the applications as a group at the same time. They discuss it as a group at the same time. Then as a group, they choose, they select those they feel like would be most qualified, and then they call those in for an interview, and then they may narrow that down to an even smaller group for interviews, but they do it all as a group. And if I understood correctly, at the last meeting, work session meeting, where you read through the list of individuals who had applied, you had described the process would be that each commissioner would look at the applicants individually, make their own individual phone calls. And so I'm realizing that at a time. Is that a bell that I'm out of time? Okay, all right, I thought maybe I was. A lot of places I speak, they're very rigid about how long you have to speak. But it just appeared to be an unusual method. And then when we get here today, there seemed to be such a rush. In fact, with the second nominee, in which there was a motion before there was ever a nominee, which I found even more puzzling. But I guess where I'm going at this, at what point did you all speak regarding the potential appointments, those that you felt were most qualified, because you certainly didn't do it during this meeting. So when would you have done it? And it would almost appear to have to have been at a public meeting, or it would appear to not be in sync with the open meetings law. So I just don't understand the whole process, I guess is where I'm going with that. It's not anything that I'm familiar with. And at the last meeting, I had asked, would the appointments be done in closed session, or would they be done in open session? And you said they would be done in open session, so the appointments were, but I'm just puzzled as to how the three of you could come together and know that these were the ones that were the best for these two positions, when there was no, in public session, group meeting, going through the applicants together and discussing it together. And I'm just puzzled by that. I don't get that whole process. It's totally different from what I've been exposed to as a teacher working with school boards, and as a husband who was an administrator and worked with school boards. I just don't understand it. And I also have to say, I don't understand something else. You have a member, I'll just say his name, Roger Toomey. There's no reason not to say it. He's been a wonderful advocate for the library, who totally understands what his role is as a trustee. And believe he served close to 20 years. He apparently was fine all those other years, fine. And now all of a sudden he's not fine and he's replaced. How did he come to not be fine? Thank you.
Thank you.
If you want to address any of that during a public meeting, please feel free to do so.
You can take time. Anyone else like to speak up to the podium? Please step forward, state your name and address. Seeing none, we're going to close the public comment portion of the meeting. Commissioner Communications?
None.
No. Need a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor? 3 votes for, 0 against. We are adjourned. Thank you all.